Conan had felt it hunger, felt it rage, felt it exult in destruction. He'd never felt it do this. The weapon's dual energies, pulsing in harmony, as if recognizing something in the man's touch. Not ownership, not mastery, but acknowledgement. Çekim's other hand traced the blade's curves, his eyes distant, reading something in its construction that Conan could not see. Not forged, he whispered, willed into being. The cosmic balance, given edge. His eyes focused, meeting Conan's. This isn't a weapon someone made. It's a principle that chose to exist as a weapon. Fire's will within hail. Action and reaction incarnate. He paused, thumb running along the leather wrapping. Neutral. No allegiance to light or dark. Just correction. Like gravity doesn't care what falls. His gaze sharpened. This power has chosen many champions before you for correction. Sometimes it takes epochs before it finds one that can actually wield it. Conan's eyes narrowed. You're wondering why it didn't unmake me like the thief in the tavern. The words struck like a hammer. Çekim had not been there. Could not have known. Çekim's lips curved. Not quite a smile. The thief reached with greed. I intended not to wield it, but listen to it. He released the hilt, but his eyes held that distant quality again, as if reading text invisible to others. The blade showed me when I touched it. Echoes, choices. One man turned to ash in Charybdis because he intended to take. You intend to wield. The difference matters to a force of cosmic correction. You saw the tavern, not a question. I saw what the blade remembers. Fragments, impressions. Çekim stepped back. You intended to show the gods your will, challenges theirs. The blade wanted the same. A pause, waited. Maybe the thinning of the veil was something that needed to happen. For it to balance a cosmic equilibrium we cannot see. The words hung in the superheated air. You speak in riddles, Easterner, Conan growled. I speak in choices. Çekim's expression shifted. No longer the respectful soldier, but something older, harder. Destiny and fate are patterns already in motion, Sumerian. But patterns still require parts to be played. Threads still choose which way they pull. He held up 2 fingers. First choice, come to Kauran. King Kastrim has knowledge guarded since the Hyborian conquest of Acheron. Answers about what you carry, what walks the thinning places. Çekim's voice dropped. But knowledge is its own prison. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. 1 finger lowered. Second choice, take your gold. Ride for the coast. The blade will call when needed. It always does. You'll walk the same path, fight the same battles. Only difference is, you'll do it on your instincts, not inherited knowledge. Çekim's hand dropped to his side. Both paths lead to the same war, Cimmerian. One offers answers. The other offers freedom. Neither is wrong. Conan's jaw worked, eyes moving from the easterner to the distant horizon, shimmering in the heat haze. A muscle twitched beneath his sun-bronzed cheek. Conan had learned long ago to read strength in the silence of men. "You talk like an elder," he said finally, his voice like granite grinding. "But you're scarce old enough to grow a proper beard. You know magic, but carry no stink of sorcery. No demon mark, no grave rot." His volcanic gaze locked on Çekim. "And you touched the Unmaker without flinching. I've walked enough roads to know when a man speaks from scars, not scrolls. You've seen something, Çekim. Lived through what breaks other men." Conan's hand drifted to the blade's hilt, feeling its dual song. He turned to Yasmela, his decision already made but not yet spoken. The Cimmerian way. "Your father keeps strange hounds, princess. Ones that know when to bite and when to listen." A wolf's grin split his features. "Crom knows I've learned enough through bleeding. Maybe it's time I learned something before the bleeding starts." He moved through the press of riders, eyes flicking over the tethered mounts, until one caught his liking. A rangy, smoke-colored stallion with the shoulders of a fighter. Conan seized the reins without asking, and the beast shied once, then stilled beneath the weight of his stare. With a predator's ease, he swung into the saddle, the desert wind tugging at the torn leather crossing his chest. "Lead on to Kauran, then." His gaze found Çekim's across the sand, steady as hammered iron. "But know this," his voice rasped like gravel underfoot, "I follow no man. I ride beside you because you've earned my curiosity, not my obedience. The first time your kings Knowledge smells like chains. I'm gone. He adjusted the obsidian blade across his back, feeling its weight settle like a promise of war. The road's long, he muttered, half to himself, half to the wind. 4 days of sand and sun before we see Charon's gates. Let's not waste it standing still. "4 days beneath the merciless sun, and Conan watched, not with the wary calculation of a man sizing up a potential enemy, but with the patient curiosity of a wolf observing something it had never encountered before. The caravan moved in disciplined silence through terrain that killed the unprepared, and at its head rode the young warrior who'd touched the Unmaker and lived. Çekim was a study in contradictions, wrapped in faded indigo and functional leather. Each dawn, before the sun bled crimson across the eastern waste, the man would wake and move through forms that were neither dance nor combat. Slow, deliberate patterns that reminded Conan of water finding its course. No wasted motion, no flourish, just principle made physical, the way a river carves stone without trying. "What manner of fighting is that?" Conan had asked on the second morning, watching the lean warrior flow from stance to stance with the patience of erosion. The kind that teaches you to see the pattern before the blow lands. Çekim's voice held no superiority, just statement. Fast enough to learn, lifetime to master. The Sumerian, unconvinced, but intrigued. The meditation came after. Çekim would sit cross-legged on whatever rock or sand presented itself, spine straight as a sword, eyes closed to slits. Not sleep. Something else. Conan had seen sorcerers enter trances before their rituals, watch shamans commune with spirits that whispered madness. This was different. No chanting, no sacrifice, just stillness, as if the man were listening to something the desert itself was saying. "Commune with your gods?" Conan asked once. "With patterns." Çekim opened his eyes slowly, like a man surfacing from deep water. Everything moves, everything speaks. Most men are too loud inside to hear it, and you're quiet enough. Some days, a ghost of a smile. Other days, my own thoughts drown out the cosmos. Discipline defined the man. He ate sparingly. Dried meat, hard bread, water measured like gold. Never complained, never postured. When Princess Yasmela rode near, his eyes never lifted. He moved like a man walking with shadows. Whatever dream warmed the others, it slid off him like water from stone. His world was colder, narrow as a blade's edge. A rare breed, Conan thought. In a world where men measured worth in conquered women and spilled blood, here was one who seemed to measure it in something else. Understanding, perhaps. Pattern. Some Eastern creed the Sumerian could not name, but knew the way a wolf knows another predator's scent. By the third day, a rhythm had formed between them, wordless, flint and steel. Çekim greeted the dawn with his silent rites. Conan drew the blade of Duma, feeling its strange song hum against a whetstone that never truly touched its edge. They mounted, rode, made camp, repeated. Few words passed, but the silence grew heavy, not empty, but full, like stones laid one atop another. A cairn built without hands. On the fourth day, the walls of Kauran bled up from the heat like a promise or a threat.